Today we got another banger tier list for you guys. Today we're breaking down how each UFC fighter would handle being in a cult. If they would join, if they wouldn't join, would they just dabble? So let me break down these tiers for you real quick. Let me delete this row. So we got the cult leader, we got the top dog of the cult, okay? We have the enforcer, we got a member, like a guy who just, so the enforcer is like, he's the enforcer of the cult. He kills people like for the cult leader, you know what I'm saying? We got a member, this guy shows up to all the meetings, he throws them some money, you know what I mean? But he's really not like locked in like that. And then if you dabble, you're just kind of on the side with it. This is like there's some people in the UFC, I'm not going to lie, that wouldn't know they're in a cult. And they're like, oh yeah, I just, it's like a book club, like my monthly meeting, you know what I mean? They don't show up to everyone, but they're definitely a part of it for real. A couple guys out there. And then we got the sacrificial lamb of the group, okay? If they ever showed up, okay, they're probably getting op day one, not gonna lie. And then these guys just wouldn't show up. They wouldn't care to show up. So if you're in the non category, they just wouldn't really care to show up. Okay, guys, first one coming on the list, Jamal Hill. I hate to say it, but you're a sacrificial lamb, man. Bro, if Jamal Hill shows up to the Colt Day 1 meeting, he's going to be saying some shit, okay? I didn't get caught. I got dominated, okay? He's going to be saying some bullshit day one that he shows up. The Colt would not accept Jamal Hill, okay? All right, we're speaking random broadly. A random Colt would not mess with Jamal Hill on day one, okay? Could you imagine Jamal Hill showing up day one? Bro, it's like, listen, I think day one he pulls up, he's going to pull a Joanna and Jurchek move. He's going to be trying to chin somebody, all right? That's just how Jamal Hill is. That's who he is as a guy. All right, moving on to the next person. We got Sean Strickland. We know he's the enforcer. Come on, man. Listen. We are so glad as a society the fact that we don't have Sean Strickland running on the loose doing crazy shit, okay? If this man was not a UFC fighter, he would be a menace to the rest of the United States of America. We should be glad that the UFC employs this man, okay? If he was not employed by the UFC, he would be doing dangerous things nightly, okay? And you're telling me this is the face. You're telling me this face, if he gets caught up in a cult, would not be locked in on day one? Come on, get out of here, man. That guy would be a peak enforcer. All right, next guy up on the list. We got Israel Adesanya. Honestly, I think Izzy's a part of the dabble category, okay? I think if Izzy pulled up, he wouldn't even know he's in a cult, okay? Izzy would just kind of pull up to a couple meetings. He'd member, he'd join the subscription plan or whatever, and he wouldn't even think anything's up. You know what I mean? He'd be too dialed into his own routine to really even know that he's a cult. I feel like Izzy would be that oblivious to join a cult, but he's like, yeah, I go to these monthly meetings. We like sacrifice to random things, you know what I mean? And then like this, the cult leader is doing all this crazy shit. But, I don't know. It's just something fun I do on Thursdays. That's some shit Izzy would do, man. Izzy would just be pulling up to random, you know what I'm saying. All right, JDM is too chill to show up. We know this. JDM would not show up to a cult meeting, okay? I don't think that you could genuinely get JDM to do anything other than, probably train. I'm going to be honest. I watched this one, and JDM is too chill for all that, okay? JDM is too chill, okay? He's not pulling up, and if he did pull up, he'd just be like, oh, man, this is kind of weird, ain't it? Kind of weird. I cannot do an Australian accent. That's terrible. And we got Yuri Proska, leader. Is this, do I need to explain? Do I need to explain this? Yuri probably has a cult right now. If we're being for real, listen, Yuri's my favorite fighter. Yuri is actually probably my favorite fighter. Yuri's my favorite fighter. If it came out that he had a cult, would anyone be surprised? Would anyone listening to this video actually be surprised that Yuri has a cult? No, we wouldn't be surprised. He's an interesting guy, okay? You're telling me he's got a cult on the side? We're not surprised. Okay, coming in next, Bilal. Sacrificial lamb. Bilal's just yapping too much. I'm going to be for real, dude. I actually really like Bilal. He gives great takes on fights. He's really got a high IQ. But, dude, if that guy shows up, he's annoying everybody on day one. I don't think Bilal has any chill in him, okay? I don't think anyone wants to just kick it back and hang with Bilal. I like Bilal. I would kick it back and hang with Bilal. But I feel like Bilal was always tweaked out. Not tweaked out. Bilal was always on edge 24/7. You know what I mean? I feel like the cult leader would make, I just think he's a bit too much of a personality. So I think that Bilal would be a sacrificial lamb for the cult. All right, next up. Same thing with Yuri, bro. He probably has one if we're being for real, bro. Low-key enforcer. But the cult leader, come on. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Hooker's a member. Hooker's part of the freaky ones too, bro. Hey, listen, I don't know if it's true what that girl was saying on TikTok, but come on, man. Yeah, he'd be in a freaky cult. Same thing with Peyton Talbot. Same exact idea. Same, whatever idea you had for Hooker, same idea for Talbot. I'm not gonna go too much into that, but that's what I got. Ian Gary. Yeah, so, bro, Ian Gary. Listen, bro. No one likes you, dude. You're a UFC fighter, and I know it's your job to make people, have a feeling about you. But I think everyone in the community has such a genuine dislike of Ian Gary. I have never seen an Ian Gary fan. I have never met an Ian Gary fan. No hate towards Ian Gary, but you're just not a very likable guy. You know what I mean? I don't think the cult would be messing with you. Dude, you're just getting opped on day one. I have to be honest with you. And guys, Arnold Allen. Come on. He would dabble and he wouldn't even know for real. He's too in his own. He's got his cat. I mess with Arnold Allen. I'm not gonna do the bedtime impression. He said he didn't like that, but he would dabble. He would dabble for sure. But guys, this is what I got for the tier list today. Thank you guys for watching. Give me a like, give me a follow if you want more. See you guys later.